It's good to maybe, since that will be one of the last sessions of the day, also to remind that today we heard quite often about the key role of cities, the competence and skills of the staff, which is needed for the energy transition, the fact that moving to implementation is critical, and that mobilizing finance is, of course, essential. So we also heard that cities have great and ambitious objectives, but of course they need support and technical assistance to move forward and to turn their energy and climate strategies and plans into investment programs and concrete projects. And this is exactly the focus of the European City Facility, which is funded under the LIFE Clean Energy Transition Program. And in this session, we will hear more about it. So my name is Michele Sansoni. I'm a project advisor in CINEA. I guess at this time of the day you know that CINEA is an executive agency of the European Commission, is implementing, among the other funding programs, the LIFE Clean Energy Transition Program. So today we are here with quite a number of speakers. So I'm starting with Carlos Sanchez Rivero, team leader, financing for energy efficiency in DG Energy, European Commission, and the European City Facility is an initiative of the European Commission, managed by CINEA. We have Francisco Gonçalves from Energy Cities, the coordinator of the European City Facility. We have CLARA LASSARAT, sustainable energy engineer, Le Havre Seine Metropole in France. We have Petra Pomper, energy efficiency, environmental protection and spatial planning advisor, City of Križevci in Croatia. I hope I pronounced it well. And last but not least, Rui Pimenta, Chief Executive Officer of Porto Energy Agency in Portugal. So, without further ado, I invite Carlos to set the scene at policy level.
Well, thank you very much, Michele, and good afternoon to all of you. It's really my pleasure to participate today in this session of the EU City Facility. As mentioned this morning by DG ENER Principal Advisor Hansenstein, the Commission and the co-legislators, the European Parliament and the Council, have worked in the last years and in the last months very hard to translate the energy transition objectives of the European Green Deal into EU legislation. We have now a revised energy efficiency directive that entered into force only 2 weeks ago, so still very timely. And it has a very ambitious EU energy efficiency target of 11.7% reduction of final energy consumption by 2030 compared to 2020. Multiplies by 2 on average the effort as regards the annual energy saving obligations. Also contains a new article on the energy efficiency first principle and how this can be taken into consideration in planning and investment decisions. Also contains obligations for the public sector to lead by example. So in particular, it contains an annual obligation to reduce the energy consumption by 1.9% per year, and also the obligation to renovate the building stock at least 3% of the floor area that it is owned by all public administrations. Also, I would like to mention, also very relevant for local and regional authorities, the need for these authorities to prepare heating and cooling plans for municipalities above 45,000 inhabitants. We also have reinforced the financing provisions in the Energy Efficiency Directive. Now member states will have to facilitate the establishment of financing facilities to maximize the combination of grants, financial instruments, and technical assistance. Member states will also need to ensure that energy efficiency lending products are offered widely and in a non-discriminatory manner by financial institutions. Moreover, the cooperation and dialogue with financial institutions will be reinforced. You have heard, I think this morning from our principal advisor, the plans that the Commission has to launch the EU Energy Efficiency Financing Coalition together with member states and financial institutions. Well, in parallel to the ED, the revision of the Renewable Energy Directive has also been adopted with an EU-wide binding target of 42.5% for the renewable share by the year of 2030. And finally, the third important piece of legislation that I'd like to mention is the Energy Performance of Buildings Directive, that it is in the last stages of the negotiations. We have a last political trialogue on the 12th of October, and really now the objective and the ambition is to reach an agreement, hopefully still in 2023. Just probably most of you, if not all of you, are fully aware of that, but the main objective of the recast Energy Performance of Buildings Directive will be to accelerate the improvement of the energy performance of the building stock in Europe, in particular by increasing both the rate but also the depth of the energy renovations by 2030, but also to set a vision to decarbonize the building stock by 2050. As mentioned as well this morning by our Director General of CLIMA, and our principal advisor in DG ENER, now Europe needs to focus on implementation. So that's very, very important. It's the moment of implementation. I would like to highlight the importance that cities and local actors has to play within this policy context. Without the EU, without local authorities, without local actors, the clean energy transition will not happen. And investments and financing, in particular the mobilization of private financing, will be also a key factor for the success. Because public fundings will not be sufficient. Commission estimates say that up to 275 billion euros per year will be needed only on the area of energy efficiency if Europe wants to deliver on its energy and climate objectives and targets. Just to give you also an order of magnitude, this more or less corresponds to 1% of the EU GDP. In this context, private contribution will account for the lion's share, at least 80% of the investments. Therefore, it is crucial to work together, public institutions and bodies, and the finance sector, to develop and scale up financing schemes that can combine private financing with public support in the form of guarantees, loans, grants, and technical assistance. And in fact, technical assistance is fundamental to leverage private investments, and it is fundamental in our clean energy transition. And it is very much needed in the context of policy implementation. With that in mind, the EU City Facility Initiative was devised to provide technical and financial support to bridge the gap between local energy and climate strategies, on the one hand, and sustainable energy investments through the development of investment concepts. The demand for the facility has been very high and demonstrated it is a very much needed tool. Now that a good number of investment concepts are delivered, it is also important to facilitate that some of them turn into real investments. Market testing is very important to make investment concepts more mature and ready for the next steps. I'm looking forward to learn from different experiences in the panel today about experiences and also future perspectives. The money to finance these investments should come from different private and public sources. Matchmaking with investors and financial institutions becomes increasingly important. Today's event is also a great occasion for networking in view of these objectives. I would like to conclude by thanking the EU City Facility team for the very good work in these years, and wishing all beneficiaries of the EU City Facility the best of luck to turn their investment concepts into reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos. And Francisco, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. The day is already going long, but I'm very happy to be here. I think it's a great initiative. We started almost more than 4 years ago, exactly in this event, in the Covenant of Mayors Investment Forum. We had our launch event. Was already full of expectations, expectatives, what is going to happen. I think all of us, Carlos, Michele was there, we were there. So now I'm very pleased to come here. There is also here the team of the European City Facility that is here in the front also that have been working together. And so trying to link what has been said this morning, also in the opening session, where we have the vice chair of Santander Bank that said we need projects that work, and also linking with what the city of Zagreb was also here on this stage, also saying that cities are also need for skills and more staff, more skilled staff. I think that the European City Facility has a very, very important role to say here, because we are here to make projects work, and we are here to give what the cities, or give capacity to cities to really mature their project's idea. And like Carlos was saying, and very well, so we are here really to link and to bridge between what are the strategies of the cities, and upstream we have all the climate strategies and energy strategies, the policy making, and with the implementation, the public, the finance, the public and private finance, and the European City Facility, through what we call the investment concept that we are here to support cities to do, aims to bring this maturity and hopefully to make these projects work. And we have here an excellent panel with 3 examples that will show you if the projects are or not working. And what are we doing? So the European City Facility is here to bring technical and financial support. With the financial support, we are giving a lump sum for the first and for the development of the investment concepts. Through organizations of call of applications, we are really here to support the cities to really develop this investment concept that will bring this maturity to the project ideas. But we are not just giving money to develop the investment concept. We are also, and we understand that we cannot just live with the cities. We also have a role to give capacity building and really to train municipal staff to really get to understand what is behind this investment concept. And of course we have this capacity building program, but we also have, and this is very important, we have a network of 29 country experts that give support at national level, at the different national languages, that has been proven to be key for the cities to really be able to apply to the European City Facility. We are also provided standardized documentations like the investment concept template that is important to give some stability and some maturity, and this was reviewed also by financial stakeholders. But we also have investment texts. We also go to the financial models to get more homogeneous the projects that we want to develop and we want to bring to the pipeline. And 4 years after, we are starting to have, like Carlos said, the first results. So we are already having more than 900 applications received across 5 calls. We have more than 280 applications selected, and we are starting to have more than 100 investment concepts that 3 are already here that to show you what has been achieved. We are in target or in line with the policy directives, so we are reaching most part of buildings, so public buildings, residential buildings, district heating. We also target renewables. So really, really here and targeting small and medium-sized cities. We don't exclude any city, but we believe that small and medium-sized cities are the ones that are really looking for the support that is provided by the European City Facility. Just an overview of the countries. So we have 29 countries at the moment that are eligible for the European City Facility. European Union countries plus Ukraine and Iceland are eligible. We are present almost in all the countries we are eligible, and we are working. We have, in the dark colors, we see where we are more present, where the most number of beneficiaries are. And finally, and if there are cities here, municipalities, groupings of municipalities that have not been yet on board or onboarded in the European City Facility, we have good news for you. So in a couple of months, we are starting the new call for applications. So if you really want to make that project work, just contact us and apply to the European City Facility.
Thank you very much. This is very good news. And now we are looking forward to hearing the success stories of the 3 cities which we invited. And we will start with Petra from Croatia.
Thank you very much. Okay. Wait. Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Petra Pomper. I come from the city of Križevci, and we received the support from the EUCF during the second call, which ended in 2021. So basically, during the 2022, we developed the investment concept. Just to give you a review where we are located. We are located northeast of the city of Zagreb, of the capital city. We are located in the Koprivnica-Križevci county, and our administration area is more than 260 square kilometers. And in the city administration, there are 59 settlements plus the city, urban city of Križevci itself. We have less than 20,000 inhabitants, which is basically, for the Croatian standards, medium-sized city, but for the Europe, it's a rather big village. 50% of our inhabitants live in urban area and 50% are living in a rural area. But the great thing about us is that we have an excellent geographic position, and we are approximately half an hour to the capital city of Zagreb. And we are also, as you can see on this red line, we are part of the TEN-T Mediterranean rail corridor, which was basically a very important issue for us, not in the investment concept itself, but also in another projects. So basically, what we are trying to achieve in the city of Križevci is that we use locally available energy sources and enable that the community can benefit from it. And now we'll just briefly go through the investment concept itself. It was a rather big project for us, basically for the Croatia, because in the investment concept we included installation of big solar power plant, 7 megawatts approximately, then the production of the green hydrogen from the electricity produced from the PV plant, and also the establishment of the multimodal terminal. So basically, as you can see, it was approximated to more than 55 million euros. And like I said, for the Croatian standards, it's a rather big project. And we had the challenge that there are not so many big projects in Croatia that we can learn from them. Whether it is about the measures they are using, any challenges they have issued so far, or any possible solutions they have. Also, we had a lack of adequate staff that developed this investment concept, that we need to also outsource our local energy community to develop with the help with the administrations from the city of Križevci, me and my chief. But also, as we developed this investment concept in 2022, like we know, Ukrainian crisis began and the inflation hit us hard. So basically, the total planned investment of 55 million euros went extremely high, and actually it's not much affordable right now to be implemented. But it's not everything that black or that dark. Intermodal terminal that we included in our investment concept is included also in the development agreement for Northern Croatia in 2021. It is basically an agreement which enables us to get some grants from the Republic of Croatia. Also, we are planning to install PV power plant or solar power plant with the help of our citizens. Also, the production of green hydrogen, like I mentioned, there are still a lot of questions regarding this because of the new technology about the development of cost-effective analysis. But also, we need to see whether the public transport in the city will be by electric or hydrogen electric power plant, electric or hydrogen powered. But also the good side of it, that by establishing intermodal terminal, PV plant, or even public transport, we will get new green jobs and also a better quality of life by removing the heavy traffic outside of the city center and consequentially reduce the noise and emissions from it. And I think that's it for now. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks a lot. Now we travel from Croatia to Portugal. Rui.
Okay. So good afternoon to everybody. Thanks for the opportunity to be here to present the experience of Porto Municipality with the European City Facility Project. So we call it this Porto Energy Revolution 2030. And this all started, let's say, with the recent SECAP prepared it and approved it by the municipality in 2020. That was already a very ambitious plan for the municipality, already with huge goals for 2030. Then the municipality applied for the 100 smart cities and climate neutral cities missions, and it was selected. And this, of course, put us pressure to start working with this goal to achieve the neutrality and to work with the decarbonization. So one of the things that Porto immediately started doing was understanding that, okay, we represent 7-8% of all the emissions in our territory. We can have some private funding, we can have some grants to support the measures that we need to deliver. We also need to bring private sector to all this major investment, but the main thing that we need to do is to involve all the stakeholders of the region, private, public sector, citizens, companies. So they created this Porto Climate Pact, that it's basically an initiative to combine the goals, the objectives, and the synergies and the knowledge of everybody that works and lives in the city to achieve together the same goal. So on 2020, we promoted our investment concept, already combining all these targets that we identify prior to this, and of course, we are working on this neutrality by 2030. So majorly what we identified as the areas that we should act. Porto, it's a very dense city, so there are a lot of buildings, there are a lot of municipal buildings, so we identified 128 buildings to promote renovation. Some of them also more regarding social housing dwellings. Just to give an example, 13% of all the citizens of Porto live in social housing buildings, so it's a huge percentage. We also identified the public lighting as something that we need to act fast. Renewable energy production, we estimated 10 megawatts of PV
for buildings all over the city and also in water supply facilities. The mobility, to promote also decarbonization and change completely all the fleet for EV vehicles, and also promoting cycle lanes and EV charging, public EV charging points. And also regarding the water management, try to introduce sustainable concepts that it's also necessary, and the water management, it's managed by the city, so we directly act on it. These are the numbers of these huge objectives that we identified. So there is a huge expectations in terms of reduction of emissions, and of course in energy savings also, and renewable production. But the goal is to combine everything and to promote all this sustainability in the city, and eliminating the energy poverty, creating jobs, creating a better environmental for everybody. In terms of numbers, and as you can see, the investment identified, it's huge, almost 250 million euros that was identified in our pipeline. And for this, of course, major of this amount comes for interventions in buildings, then also the water management and the other initiatives. Of course, from the municipality, it only represents a very small part. For this, we need to bring the other grants that are available from the government, from European funds, but mainly from the private sector. And this was one of the major focus of the investment concept, was to how can we bring all these solutions to promote and to to implement this huge investment. Many things are being done. So to conclude, I just bring you some examples. So there is a lot of investments already from own capital from the municipality in terms of building renovation. The fleet right now, it's almost 100% electrical in the municipality, already integrated with 300 EV chargings just for the fleet. So it's also a huge investment. Almost all the city, it's already LED lighting. This is creating huge savings in terms of emissions, in terms of energy savings. Just to give an example, it's saving more than 2 million euros in the budget of the municipality. So for Porto, it's of course a huge amount. And we are promoting as much as possible the energy, renewable energy production. So right now we are concluding the third megawatt of PV for self-consumption, and this is distributed in a lot of buildings. We are promoting this in schools mainly, with another initiatives to bring the students also as part of these concepts. The picture there it's one of the recent ones that was established, that was a PV production in a green roof school. Of course, and also then the management and creating some solutions in terms of production of energy using biogas that comes from the water management. So there are a lot of things that we are doing. We are also promoting the energy communities, but as I was saying, one of the major advantages of this initiative in the end was to try to combine all these opportunities of solutions of investments, not only grants, not only municipal capital. And thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Clara, the floor is yours.
Hello to all. I'm happy to be here and to be able to talk about EUCF project. So I'm working for Le Havre Seine Metropole municipality, which is located in Normandy, in northwest of France. And it's a consortium of 54 municipalities. And I'm engineer in sustainable energy development. I'm working for the energy department. So in 2021, we started to work for EUCF investment concept. And because we wanted to study more deeply how much it will cost for us to put in place our action plan, specifically on photovoltaic project. So we wanted to study how much it will cost to develop photovoltaic installation and public patrimony for the roofs, the shade house, and the wasteland. with the objective to reduce carbon emission, produce local energy, create local and green economy, and have exemplar projects which are replicable from one to another. So for that, we received a grant of 60,000 euro, 60,000 euro, yeah. And we had 1 year to perform the study. So the study, we start to look at all the solar potential on Le Havre Metropolis territory for all the public patrimony. And after we classified this in different categories, roof, shade house, wasteland, and also by dimension, because the investment is different if it's a small building or a huge building. We look deeply in legal analysis to understand how we can create project society, mixing public and private investors, create project society with citizens, and how are all the legal process to reach that point. And then, thanks to EUCF, we managed to build a business plan with all financial analysis and looking deeply which projects are the most profitable financially. And at the end, we selected 325 production units, which represent 2% of the territory consumption. And all of this project will have a cost of more than 110 million euros, which is a lot. And this is why we need to mobilize all the investors on the territory with public sector first, us, but also private and also citizen project. And since EUCF has been finalized, so in February 2022 this year, we have been granted. We have meanwhile finalized our climate action plan with quite a massive objective on photovoltaic development. We also have created a financial structure with 4 other metropolises in France called SANCHEZ, which is a semi-public company dedicated only to invest in sustainable energy projects, and which is value of 8 million euros. And we continue and we pursue with all the mayors on the territory, the animation of the project, and the communication on what EUCF brings to us, and to present all the business plan, what is a solar project, why it's profitable in terms of ecological point of view and financial point of view as well. So still ongoing, but we are quite confident. And thank you for listening. That's it.
Thank you very much. It's always great to see how European funding can trigger all these concrete actions on the ground. Now I'm looking at the audience if there is anyone who has a question for the speakers. So usually everything was very clear when the audience is silent. So, but I have some questions. So maybe I would like to know from Rui, because you mentioned, I think it was interesting, your presentation, because you mentioned a lot of initiatives that you are going to develop and you are going to establish. But I would like to know what was the role of the European City Facility in all this energy revolution that you mentioned?
I think that you said on your question the answer. So the role of the European City Facility was to trigger this and to give us for us that we give the support to the municipality as an energy agency. At the time, give us also the support in terms of technical and finance assistance for us to develop all this that it's necessary to reach the investment concept. also give the trigger for all the entities involved, mainly the municipality, mainly the public decisors that in the end also have to understand that we need to work together to reach this neutrality. And of course, this was one of the ideas and one of the projects that was that started this main goal of Porto municipality.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm Nathalie Clicquot from CINEA. Thank you for presenting all these very nice examples. In the examples we see there is one example looking at both a mix of renewables or and energy efficiency type of investment, and in the other it's more focused on renewable energy investment. All are needed, of course, but we also know energy efficiency investments are a bit more difficult to trigger. So I would be happy to hear from Francisco. Do you have some figures about maybe more on how much of the investment concept target energy efficiency improvements and energy demand decrease maybe compared to more production on renewables? That would be interesting to know. Thanks.
Thanks for the question. So the numbers that I showed here, so basically said that 47% of the investment concepts so far and the projects that we have been financing or the grants that we have been awarding are covering the building renovation, so really on energy efficiency. So one was 22, other 25%. I cannot say if it was one is private buildings and other is public buildings, so, but I'm happy to give you the numbers after, but 47% is on building renovation, and we have 16% on district heating and cooling, so this really also targeting also on the efficiency of the systems, and then we have, of course, some parts and sectors that are also on renewable energies, so we had also here the integrated building integrated renewables. What we also seen, and because we really want to target what you were mentioning, that saying that is energy efficiency is also sometimes more challenging for the financing, that we are now targeting more energy efficiency in our calls. So we are really privileging also or welcoming more, I would say, energy efficiency projects. So it's something that we are very aware, and that's what we want to do. And since the last two calls, that we are really privileging energy efficiency without, of course, also we are also supporting others, but our focus is on energy efficiency.
Thank you. Hello, Pierre-Antoine Vernon from CINEA. I have a question for Mrs. Pomper. So I noted in your action plan that solar and hydrogen and this multimodal terminal were in the scope, but not building renovation. And I know that you are considering this now because I'm the project officer of one of your new projects. So what has changed? Why was it not part of your action plan before, and why is it now?
Thank you for your question. We actually didn't include building renovation in this investment concept because we were trying to focus more on the urban mobility problem in the city and also to be more inclusive with people, with citizens into renewable energy sources. Because we actually saw that renewable energy projects are going much better than the energy renovation due to very, let's say, a lot of issues. regarding the lack of adequate construction workers, regarding the lack of materials. So basically, from our point of view, there was a lot easier to reach some, let's say, PV power plants or solar thermal collectors than to have any energy renovation. So basically, that was our, let's say, main focus of this investment concept.
So maybe a question for Clara. You told us that basically the metropole is composed of 54 municipalities. Which role did they play in the investment concept? But how important were human resources to develop your investment concept?
For the can you hear me? Yeah. For the 54 municipality, it was more the municipality, the metropolis who worked on the study and with me. And we also had the help from external resources, external engineers, who helped us to look all the solar potential to do this analysis, and so for a cost of 30,000 euros. But it was really helpful in terms of time first, and also in terms of resources, because they can use their own software with their license, which is something we don't have, and which is quite expensive to analyze this.
Yeah, so interesting the fact that you outsource part of the activities, but still the metropole will continue and will follow up on the investment concept, also with a semi-public company, and also with the legal analysis that you did to overcome the barriers, probably.
Yes, of course. It was a co-work with external resources, more on the technical part, and also to help us on business model. But after they created some tools for us, which we can use today to analyze the solar potential and the cost of a project, which is really useful for municipality now. When we go and see them, say, okay, you have a project, what type of project is it? And we enter on the Excel file all the data, and it performs the investment analysis for us. So to develop this tool, it was useful to have external expertise.
Yeah, maybe a question to Francisco, or you want to? Yeah, please go on.
Okay, I have a question also, maybe to all, but also to Rui, because we were speaking before during coffee break, and you told me that some projects of the European City Facility triggered other initiatives, that you have a PDA, you are considering other schemes, and I think it would be interesting to share with the audience.
Let me say it. You have to let me to be the one to say it. These ones that are true. We are as an output of this European City Facility project, and answering the question, or at least also supporting the issue about the energy efficiency. The investment in Porto, almost 2/3 it's in energy efficiency, and most of it comes from the buildings renovation. Of course, some of the investment are coming from the municipality, but we also took advantage of this project also to apply to a PDA that it's ongoing right now. So we are also supporting these initiatives that were identified by the municipality or by us in this project with this PDA project, and we are seeing that there is still a lot of financing to be done. So we are also preparing an application for ENER. So this is what we are trying to bring as support for European entities, from the governments, and of course, and just to also to complement, since Porto is part of the missions of the 100 cities, we also took advantage of this and all this knowledge and all the quantifications in terms of impacts of the investments are done in terms of energy efficiency, in terms of renewable energy production, mobility, and so on. Also to use these outputs for the investment plan that it's also obligated to present for the initiative of the mission.
Okay, thanks. So maybe Francisco, what? Oh, okay, good.
Thank you. So I have a question for you, Clara. My name is Eduard Puig. I am with GNE, actually one of the members of the consortium. And our role actually is to help you to connect these investment concepts with potential sources of funding, investors, and so on. So you mentioned that you have set up this SEMASER, a semi-public entity. Semi-public can have different legal interpretations or ways to implement. The question is, because I believe that is one of the most powerful ways to actually try to gather and bring in private funding, but in some jurisdictions, this imposes a limit to the public entity participating in this vehicle. So the question to you is, does this happen as well in the SEMASER case, being a semi-public entity? Does this condition the public financing of the public entities being part of SEMASER? How are you managing sort of this limitation that may affect the public finances?
Actually, it's a semi-public society, but with only public investment into it. So it's the 4 metropolis, Le Havre, Rouen, Big Paris, and Paris, which put money together into this society. So there is no private investment into it. And now this society is dedicated to support projects in sustainable energy, but with a goal, the main goal is to make money in order to reinvest this money into sustainable energy projects.
So in that case, we should have a further conversation to take advantage of this pooling effort you have made to try to bring in also private financing, because that may be a potential way to multiply the finances that you have put together 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, no?
Yes.
So we should have that conversation later on.
This is the goal, to go further. And we have an investment plan for this project society for the next 10 years.
Thank you.
Good. So, Francisco, you announced 15th of January 2024, the next call. So what is needed if someone is interested to apply for?
So there are some criteria that are necessary to become a beneficiary of the European City Facility. So I don't know, maybe I can ask the question, but who's beneficiary here from the European City Facility, or who would like to be beneficiary of the European City Facility? Well, not a lot. Anyway, I'm sure that I'm convinced that you will bring the message home and speak to the cities that you are in contact with. So basically, European City Facility is for cities. So if you're a municipality or a group or local authority, grouping of local authorities, municipalities, or a public entity aggregating municipalities or local authorities, like a metropole in case of France, you are eligible. You have to be a member of your country has to be a member state of the European Union, or you have to be in Iceland or in Ukraine. You need to have energy and climate plan under the Covenant of Mayors or with quantifiable mitigation targets. one thing very important, you need to have the political support of your political representatives, so this is also very important, and to commit to a monitoring period after the submission and validation of your investment concept, so we can also continue with the further support and technical support for the implementation of your investment concept.
Okay, thanks a lot. I'm closing now the session, and just a kind reminder that in 5 minutes, very last question. But 1 minute, 1 minute.
Yeah, I just would like to clarify about this monitoring support. How long does it take, and what is expected?
So the monitoring is a period of time where we are collecting data from, so we are in contact with the beneficiary, we are collecting some data regarding how the implementation is going. If there are needs that they need, so it's not a very hard monitoring, so it's not like constant data, but we are contacting the city with the support of the country experts in some specific times, just to understand how the implementation is going, if there are some needs that are some capacity needs, some other kind of needs that we can be useful also to support. So it's really to support, that's why we call it monitoring, but it's not really to collect like 15 minutes data and these kind of things, but to understand the needs that are behind the implementation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we don't have one more. No? Okay. I think we can conclude here. Thanks a lot. In 5 minutes, I think, the closing session will be in this very room. So please stay. Don't go, because we have very good speakers to conclude. But before that, I have to say a big round of applause for our great 5 speakers of today.